This is a topic consistently requested, and I felt like let me get this off my shoulders. As you can see, it is Jigen and not Ishiki. This video would go over attack potency, hacks, speed, and win conditions, of course. Now, how about we start with Yhwach? I could simply just refer you to my videos on Yhwach and Jigen, which you should check because I will make everything here brief as possible. So go check them after this to get a full in-depth review on the scaling. Yhwach, as we know, is the father of the Quincy's and supposed son to the Soul King Ryo. Yhwach's main problem is his hacks when fighting somebody within his tier, then his AP, but his AP supports his hacks, of course. Yhwach could take on the likes of Ichigo without his almighty, and pretty much was just joking around with him, and it got worse when he got it, making him extremely more formidable, to the point that Yhwach got serious and just body slammed him to near death, if not of blood vein, saving him from the second time. And I think I made a mistake there. Yhwach got his almighty and Ichigo was stated to be formidable, and Yhwach got just body slammed him. We have been able to deduce Ichigo to about 2 times galaxy level in his true Bankai, and Aizen to be on that level in his Shikai, which you have to literally watch all my recent Bleach videos to understand the consistency, and the calcs is in the comment section of the Ichigo video. Yhwach still body slammed Aizen very easily, as well as Ichigo, and literally scales to the whole verse put together. Just scaling from Kenpachi vs Grammy, Byakuya, Toshiro and Kenpachi vs Geralt, Urahara vs Askin, Ishida vs Jugram. This man is basically composite Bleach, or composites, however you want to say. He doesn't scale to the Soul King, which is pretty obvious, as the Soul King is what Yhwach needed to kill, which is an existential right to be replaced, as several people have sealed, cut his limbs, and possibly created him as stated by Yhwach. But in the novels, it's more like he's a natural force, which is most consistent and logical if you have read the novels, but doesn't mean they scale remotely to even an infinitesimal of the Soul King. It is further consistent, as Yhwach states himself, that if Ichigo removes the sword from the Soul King, he will die completely and everything will fall. In which Mimi-Hagi is the Soul King's right arm, was given an order via the Almighty of the sealed Soul King to hold the universes, as Mimi-Hagi represents order stagnation. It is further proven, as Ryo is just this empty body being sealed away, but has the Almighty, as Yhwach implies, as the Father who can see the future even greater than his, as Yhwach's Almighty couldn't perceive the Mimi-Hagi's actions as directly stated. He absorbs little of Mimi-Hagi's powers and couldn't contain it, while about 90% of that power, or let me say about 70% of that power, started destroying everything. And this is more proof of Aizen being above Ichigo even in his Shikai, as Aizen used just Heido 90 to blow up the vast remnant of Ryo. Yhwach then absorbs the remaining parts of the Soul King, thinking it will grant him such power of even the weakened Soul King, but it just made him an irritating concussion that just had the vulnerability of the Soul King, but not the same level of the Almighty like Ryo to hold universes. Yhwach scales to multi-galaxy level at best, and if you really want to be ignorant and dense, then you can say universal. But to be a top tier cretin, you say low multiversal, which would just be 3 universes. As for speed, with the calcs, we have Ichigo at sextillions times FTL. Aizen and Yhwach, despite being a lot more powerful, are equals in speed. This is consistent in Bleach, as sometimes far weaker people have amazing speeds, but if the gap is too much, then it is a no-no. As for Jigen basically slapped Naruto and Sasuke at his full power, because we know his body was at its limits, but not the chakra parts aspect. So there was a restriction for Ishiki, but too much pressure for the host Jigen. Naruto and Sasuke as adults are extremely powerful, in which, as we know, that the data books and novels are canon material sources to the main source materials. Momoshiki has been stated in the novels to have created a parallel dimension to their universe, and it is a universe because with consistent feats all the way from part 1 of Naruto till date, even mid-tiers have casual planet to large planet feats, and Momoshiki is just massively above that no difficulty. Momoshiki created a universe, and we don't know how short or long it took him to do so. That alone is his base casual feat, in which I could go on to prove him low multiversal, but I see no points of that. Also, Kaguya did create 6 universes, but people say solar system when it takes about 270 plus billion suns to make the size of a solar system, and we are aware in the data books that it says Sakai, which translates to world, society, or universe, which requires logic to quantify with pre and post existing feats which one of those contexts it falls under. Like I said, there are casual planet to large planet feats from meteors. In the data books, it is stated she creates dimensions as she pleases, and summons a planet from even its spatial temporal district would go beyond its GBE and MF, which is gravitational binding energy or force, and magnetic force, creating a rip in space-time continuum, which alone with such power should be easily solar system level. She also did rewrite the entire Naruto cosmos in a canon filler, showing which is narratively lore-wise consistent and has no contradictions as it follows lore to date, as well as in the data books multiple times, saying the Tentacles has immeasurable power, infinite power, and as well as it being universal in power. Has no contradictions as it follows lore to date. Kaguya would be at least multi-solar system leveled at least in 6 places as a massive, terrible lowball, ignoring blatant showings and leaps in logic. Normally she is low multiversal as she logically created 6 universes and even rewrote the Naruto cosmos in an instant via Mugen Tsukiyomi, which is also from her power, and her will, which is from the Tentacles. You could go watch my other Naruto videos to really understand everything. For those who will argue but you don't know how long it took for her to create them, so she's universal plus in 41. Thank you for the retarded definition of universal plus equating AP and existence, which I will just let it slide off. 2. Neither you or I can prove a concrete positive or negative whether she created them the same time or not, to know if she's low multi, which isn't even the correct usage of low multi, but a downplaying factor retards use. But I can use Occam's razor to deduce further, as I have been doing with previous claims. We know she can rewrite a universe already instantly, and has shit ton of leftovers, meaning she has power definitely far exceeding her showings, which other canon sources logically supports. Yes, she should be able to most definitely create them at once, work Naruto and Sasuke's skill to a weakened Kaguya, who was going to destroy one of her universal time spaces blatantly, and even a 6-pass amped Obito plus 6-pass level Byakugo level Sakura later on although Sakura video could barely open one dimension because of how vast it was, but yet Obito can connect to almost anywhere in the verse, as well as his Kami dimension, which is unquantifiable in size. And for the fact that Obito is at least able to connect with Kaguya's time space, which was hard, shows he isn't limited to just the Naruto planet but other space times. Hokage Naruto and Sasuke just violate and shit stomp Kaguya, as they are definitely far above their war arc counterparts, and Jigen stomps them while even limited. Jigen is at least universal if you just want to massively lowball. And as for hacks, funny enough, this is the easiest part to go through. Yuak has shit ton of hacks he got from the Stern Ritters, which had been shown to get negged via power cliffing, as it is very consistent with Aizen and everyone, and even Kyugi and the Rankers trio. The Almighty would be useless because I honestly hardly see a future of UHAC winning remotely via speed or physical combat, except possibly via ceiling, which won't work via speed difference. UHAC can't also steal his abilities since they are passive hacks. As for speed, UHAC can't keep up as without even calc stacking via lore and consistencies from part 1 Naruto. By the war, but just from the war, you can get them to trillions of times FTO, which is very consistent. I've seen a lot of calcs. If you go from part 1, you will have them as sextillions by war arc. Now, without stacking and logically increase and with logical increases as adults depending on the stages, you can get base Naruto and Sasuke as adults at sextillions of times FTO in base at full power. I don't want to mention anything beyond that. Even as of now, there are feats for infinite speeds and inaccessible speeds that are not based on headcanon but blatant showings. But does this mean Jigen would win? Yuha can't die for the most part, and there's no way Jigen is getting that silver arrow. Jigen would just beat him till he has no strength left and just seal him away. And no matter how you upscale Yuha, and I upscale Jigen just one time, the results are still the same. Or you even say Yuha is solo system for the down players, Jigen would be, and you downplay Jigen, that would just be he will go nothing less than galaxy level. So anyhow you want to put it, Jigen utterly stomps UHAC and literally the entire Bleachverse negative difficulty, at best low diff. Like, if you do not agree with me, my comment is here. We are going to debate publicly. Just start with your premise and you'll get body slammed. I'm not doing Discord, just here in public, the comments. I would be glad to reply to you if you do not agree with this. If you found this video informative, if you liked it and you know you're not retarded and you just want to appeal to your incredulity because your verse lost, I don't care much about Naruto and Bleach. I care about Marvel and DC, as you guys can obviously see, and all the top verses. I'm just very neutral when it comes to this kind of things, and I just give the best possible results with honest truth concerning the context at hand. So please do subscribe if you found this video informative, and see you all next time. Peace!